Hello everyone, we're Team Green and we are discussing the concepts of network security. I'm Shalini Tiwari.
I'm Samantha Chase Thompson.
And I'm Dan Kaskavich.
So some of the core questions that are asked regarding network security include what exactly is network security and how it was invented?
What caused it to be invented in the first place? And how has it evolved since invention?
What impact does it have on our surroundings today, and why do we even need network security? So the objective in this chapter, we will define network security and the reasoning behind its creation, how it helps technology today, and examine its impact on businesses. So the origins of network security started in 1960. It's based on telephone networking, and it sprouted from a need of bursty traffic with long intervals between data sent, rather than telephone circuit-based network. It began with Advanced Research Project Agency, or ARPA. ARPANET was created in 1969 when its first packet switch was installed in 1969. 13 switches were put in place by the end of 1970. And most switches were put in research institutions. However, one switch was in the Department of Defense. Why was this important for internet security? Because it was very obscure. Research institutions posed no danger between itself, and since there was no public access, nobody could tamper with the data. And the origins of packet security were also based on telephone communications, which was a mutual connection. As ARPANET grew, more and more networks sprouted out from the successes of itself. Networks began to link together to form an network of networks, which is the internet we know today. By the 80s, computers became very commercially available, and they were put in many homes and businesses. Once this started to occur, hacking started to take off. Computer hobbyists began fiddling with their newly found computers, and they started to find vulnerabilities in hardware and software. Viruses and worms were created out of these vulnerabilities and took advantage of unpatched computers. Because of this, the United States put into a law in place to mitigate the damages. It stated that you could not access a computer without authorization to do so, and it aimed at mitigating worms or other malware plaguing networks of its time. Network security today is based on the acts of the past. Larger companies today have an IT department, whereas in the past, if they had a computer, they probably didn't even have an IT department. Smaller companies outsource their network security, whereas in the past, they just didn't even bother at all.
Okay, so network security and its impact. Creation of the internet. Though the creation of the internet is probably deemed as one of the biggest movements in history since it's so impactful to us, its concept has always been slightly flawed. The internet was created with a mutual trust, as we learned in class, amongst limited users and creators. No one in their wildest imaginations had ever thought of the possibility of privacy becoming a luxury. So what is network security? When we think of network security, we use it in reference to the protection of usability, reliability, integrity, and safety of one's data. Ranging from hardware to software, the network security is visible in various forms such as firewall, which blocks unauthorized access to one's network, intrusion prevention systems to detect sudden and fast-spreading threats, viral and private networks to provide remote access, and such. What kind of threats are imposed? Malicious threats include viruses, worms, Trojan horses, spyware, hacker attacks, zero-hour attacks, denial-of-service attacks, data theft, and identity theft. What kind of penalties could these attacks make us suffer through? Penalties range from financial problems to reputation stains to deaths and suicides. They range from every concept. Data breaches and service loss are two of the most wouldn't say important, but most popular damaging consequences. Data breaching. Data breaching occurs when attackers hack confidential data belonging to a person or an organization for competitive or crime-oriented purposes. This could be found in many business sectors where competing companies would hack each other's systems to get important information for profit. Damage that occurs due to this is always evident, ranging from lawsuit costs to loss of intellectual property and even competition loss. Denial of service attacks. A denial of service attack is conducted by using multiple systems and distributing over the internet as sources to host the attack on the same target, which slows down the speed of the network or makes it crash. With denial of service attacks, hackers or competitors work on either degrading or shutting down the computer networks belonging to people or organizations. Problems caused due to consequences. Like I said before, consequences range to suicides and deaths, which is a pretty big issue. Have led to problems in the world, in every part of the world, several concepts. Financial loss is a big issue right now. It leads to slowing down the growth of the economy. And then contagion and reputation, that would be it.
So our next topic is business and network security. As we all know, e-commerce has become a very popular trend. A lot of us college students and people of our generation tend to do a lot of online shopping, and businesses are definitely taking notice of this trend and offering these services to their customers. Worldwide retail web sales have grown to $963 billion this year. That's a 19% increase from last year. At the end of the day, 19% increase in a year's time is a lot of money, and businesses are definitely taking notice of that. So what does the internet and online shopping do to impact businesses? Well, that means that businesses now need to protect themselves online as well. The global market for network security reached $8.1 billion in 2011. It's not that much money when you think about it, considering how many attacks are still going on, and that just shows you the difficulties businesses have protecting themselves and their customers. This increase in spending for network security will eventually trickle down to the end customer. You might think that the 2% increase in something as silly as a pencil, is astronomical, but it's because businesses have to protect themselves from malicious hackers and things of that nature. And the constant change of technology, we all have tablets and laptops, and now cell phones are getting hacked into as well. So there's a constant challenge for businesses to increase their network security, and that's able to adapt to the market at the time. So a business's responsibility is to protect themselves and to protect their customers. Like we learned earlier with if a hacker were to infiltrate a company's network, they could give away trading secrets or patents. I'm pretty sure if Samsung could get a hold of Apple's new plan for their new phones of next year, that will be great for them. It's illegal, but at the end of the day, any information a company can get on their competition will be a leg up. Financial information is important as well. If a company is private and their financial statements and revenues are distributed out, that could be detrimental to that company as well. Protecting their customers. If I go onto an online website and I purchase a sweater and my information gets into the wrong hands and someone takes my identity, the likelihood of me shopping on that website anymore is zero. Businesses have to protect their customers from identity theft and malicious hackers who will put spyware on their computer or just viruses in general. So businesses are definitely their main responsibility is to protect themselves and protect their customers. And lastly, trends in the network security. So we all know about cloud and its greatness, but it's not many people are looking to make it secure, and that's a potential risk for anyone uploading any information or data onto cloud services. That information could be tampered with, or it could be tapped into, and the information could get into the wrong people's hands. Also, an individual packet information, and security and operational technology. A lot of people don't consider this, but in the distribution center, a lot of forklifts and operation warehouse management systems are now being used via the internet or Wi-Fi. If someone were to get into a company's Wi-Fi database, they could easily shut down all the forklifts. That means no products going in, no products going out, and that would be catastrophic to a company. And that is the end of our presentation. Are there any questions?